Dr. Y. Sarada, Professor, Department of Mathematics, Anna University. Her area of specialization is applied probability and stochastic modeling. She has about 25 research publications in national and international journals. She has guided students for research projects. She has delivered lectures in her area of specialization in many institutions.
Welcome to the UGC lecture series on queuing and reliability. This is the fifth lecture on queuing theory. In the last lecture, we got to see the derivation of the generalized Poisson queuing model. Let us presently start with that. In the generalized Poisson queuing model, we did see that there are n customers in the system at time t, and then lambda n is the arrival rate of customers given that there are n in the system. Mu n corresponds to the departure rate of customers given that n customers are there in the system, and our aim is to derive the steady state probability of finding n customers in the system, which is denoted as Pn. In the Kendall's notation, the present generalized Poisson queuing model is denoted as Mn Mn1 Gd infinity infinity. As we saw in the introductory lecture, this Mn is the notation for the Markovian arrivals, but presently we are denoting that the rates are dependent on the number present in the system. So, n is the state of the system, namely the presence of n customers in the system at time t. So, similarly, the second alphabet Mn denotes the Markovian departures where the departure rate is dependent on the state. The third index corresponds to the number of servers in the system. Here it is a single server system, so the value is 1. The next index is Gd, that is the general discipline. The queuing discipline is general fashion, which is applicable to any model. Namely, it could be first come first serve or priority or service in random order, last come first out, and so on. Next index is the capacity of the system. Here we have no limit on the capacity of the system, so it is denoted as infinity, and the last index corresponds to there is no limit on the source. So, the capacity of the source is also infinite. From where do the customers come from? That is what we mean by the source. This is the Kendall's notation for the present considered model, which is the generalized Poisson queuing model. So, what we did earlier was we considered an interval 0 to t plus h. So, presently we will see this. This is the origin, the time point 0 when the system starts, and this is divided into 0 to t plus h. So, the total length of the time is t plus h. Now, based on the Poisson process assumptions, because the arrivals and the departures are Poisson, we are considering it, we are dividing the interval into 0 to t, and the time point t plus h is here. So, to say that this interval is of length h units of time, and this interval 0 to t is of length t. Whereas we do consider this h to be very small, infinitesimal. Why? Because we had the Poisson process assumptions on arrivals and departures to be lambda n into h, the rate of the probability that when there are n in the system at time t, an arrival happens in the interval t to t plus h is lambda n into h. The probability is lambda n into h plus order of h. That is why we consider this t to t plus h to be very small. The h is very small. So, here either one event can happen, or no event 0 can happen, and greater than, so probability of now, given that there are n in the system at time t, and probability of one arrival in the h units of time is given by lambda n into h plus order of h. So diagrammatically this is what we have, namely the whole interval we are interested in 0 to t plus h. This we are dividing into 0 to t and t to t plus h. Now I want to bring to your notice here we are making use of the postulates of the Poisson process in trying to write the probabilities. So what are they? Namely the interval 0 to t and t to t plus h. They are non-overlapping intervals. So events happening in non-overlapping intervals are independent of each other. So that means what? When trying to write the probability of these events, we can write them as product of the individual probabilities. That's why we write, for example, p and t. The left hand side we write Pn of t plus h, but the right hand side, the first component would be, to start with, because nt is a counting process, n of 0 is 0. Fine. Now what you want by this left hand side Pn of t plus h? We want, this is nothing but probability that n of t plus h, right, is equal to n. That is, in an interval of length t plus h, there should be n customers in the system. So to start with, at 0 the count is 0, and at time t how many are there is what is the question, and in t to t plus h how many are there. So this is how we are splitting the whole interval 0 to t plus h as 0 to t and t to t plus h. So suppose I consider that at time t itself there are n customers in the system. So then what I should do? I should be writing, so at time t 0 is here, t is here and t plus h. So initially there are 0 customers, at time t there are n customers, and what should happen at t plus h? You still want n customers only, because we are writing Pn of t plus h, namely by time t plus h there should be n customers in the system. So what is to be done? Now I have two intervals which are non-overlapping, namely 0 to t and t to t plus h. Fine. Now maybe I can put the closed interval at t. So what is that I am interested? First type of event is, by time t there are n events, and in time t to t plus h there should not be any event, because only then the whole count is n. But then here we are including arrivals and departures. We are talking about two types of events that are happening on the time axis. So when I say no event should happen, it comprises of no arrival and no departure, both. So then what is that probability? In 0 to t we write it as Pn of t, and in t to t plus h we are to multiply this with probability that no arrival, namely 0 arrival, and no departure, 0 departure in h units of time. And this probability we saw in the last lecture. This is nothing but, rewrite it as Pn of t into 1 minus lambda n plus mu n into h, right, plus order of h. Okay, this is the first type of event. Now this is not, we are not done with this. What are the other possibilities? We have, but at time t equal to 0, the event is 0. The number of events that have happened is 0, because counting process at time t equal to 0, we have to start with a 0 count, right? Now at time t you can have the same thing written as 0 n minus 1, right? But still at time t plus h the count should be n again. So what are the possibilities here? So again in 0 to t and t to t plus h we always treat it as non-overlapping intervals. So by time t we are asking for n minus 1 events are there. So the probability of which is written as p n minus 1 of t. So now I will rewrite this as p n minus 1 of t, right? And what happens in h? There should be only one arrival and no departure. If a departure happens, then the count further decreases by 1 and we end up with n minus 1. So we should be writing this as p n minus 1 of t, one arrival, right? Here I will strike this. We should have one arrival and 0 departures in h. The probability of that, once again maybe I will just rewrite this. So, here we have P n of t plus h, the other component is P n minus 1 of t. By time t we are asking for n minus 1 of them to happen, and in the interval t to t plus h only one arrival can happen whose probability is lambda n minus 1 into h plus order of h intersection and no departure. So, that is 1 minus mu n minus 1 into h plus order of h. Now, when you write the product of lambda n minus 1 into h plus O of h into 1 minus mu n minus 1 into h plus O of h, you see that only the term lambda n minus 1 into h into 1 survives. Rest of them we see that they see, for example, lambda n minus 1 into h into mu n minus 1 into h. These two are nothing but the product becomes h square. Lambda n minus 1 into mu n minus 1 into h square. But then we are neglecting the terms involving h square onwards. All this gets absorbed into O of h. So, finally, we have this part to be written as P n minus 1 of t into lambda n minus 1 into h plus O of h. So, you see that here the mu n minus 1 or mu term does not come. So, this is one event. So, the second part, because all these possibilities are mutually exclusive and we end up in writing the probability of intersection of mutually exclusive to be the product or the union A or B or C. These are all written as sum of the individual probabilities. So, this is the second such possibility. What could be the next one? So, the next one is probability that still left hand side I do have Pn of t plus h. What are the possibilities? At time t we need to have say n minus 2 of the events, right? Pn minus 2 of t into how many events should happen in h? There should be 2 arrivals and again no departure. So, again 0 departures in how much? H units of time. So, but what is the probability of 2 arrivals or more than one arrival? It is order of h. So, that is how we end up in writing this as Pn minus 2 of t into order of h. So, the same thing is true. Instead of 2, the next event is going to be 3 and so on, right. So, we write this as n minus k and pk of h is nothing but order of h. So, that is how you have the third term there. I will come back to the that slide. Now, we will see we have been talking only about the arrivals. How about the departures? So, for that what we do is we write down the probability again. So, 0 t to t plus h. So, what happens by time t? Initially n of 0 is 0 and maybe at time t you could have n plus 1 of them already, but at time t plus h you need to have the count to be n. How is this possible? So, only one departure decreases the count. So, how do I write this probability? So, once again we have Pn of t plus h, this is equal to P n plus 1 of t, because this talks about 0 to t. So, and then we have t to t plus h. So, this length of the interval t to t plus h is h and 0 to t the length of the interval is t. So, that is how I have written here P n plus 1 of t, and then what should I have? Into. So, again this is product of the joint intersection of the events happening in 0 to t and t to t plus h. By time t there are n plus 1 events. In t to t plus h only one departure can take the count to n. So, we do write this as probability of one departure at the same time there should not be any arrival. So, in h units of time. So, this probability we do write it as Pn plus 1 of t into probability of one departure is when there are n in the system state dependent rates. So, we have mu n plus 1 h plus order of h, right, and probability of 0 arrival is 1 minus lambda n plus 1 h plus order of h. Now, you see the product again h square terms are involved. Finally, we get this as P n plus 1 of t right, into mu n plus 1 h plus order of h. So, maybe at this stage we shall take a break. Welcome back after the break. So, we were looking into the decomposition of the events of finding n customers in the system at time t plus h. Fine. So, we were writing the events for the probabilities for the events when there are n plus 1 customers in the system by time t. So, as before we just saw that we divided the interval into 0 to t and then t to t plus h. So, at time t equal to 0 the count is always 0 and we have by time t suppose n plus 1 are there. We want the count to be by time t plus h to be n. So, we are trying to see how to write these probabilities. So, 0 to t is one interval, t to t plus h is another interval. So, these two are non-overlapping intervals. So, we are trying to write the probability that there are n customers in the system by time t plus h. So, I said we are trying to write this particular combination, namely n plus 1 we already saw. Suppose it is possible that there are n plus 2 customers in the system, but again by time t plus h you want n customers in the system. So, what happens is in the interval of length h units of time you need to have 2 arrivals, so that 2 departures, so that the count remains to be n. So, and at the same time no arrival should happen, because otherwise the count could go up by 1 and finally you end up having n plus 1 customers. So, how to write these probabilities is the question. So, we will see this. Now, we are trying to write, this is same as writing probability of there are n plus 2 customers at time t and joint intersection. So, intersection, putting it mathematically in words I say it is and in t to t plus h there should be 2 departures at the same time, no arrival. So, 0 arrival in h units of time. So, this is the probability we are trying to write. So, as observed before, since 0 to t, t to t plus h are non-overlapping intervals. So, for that we have something like, you have this part is the event A and this part is the event B. So, you have A intersection B. So, you write it as P of A into P of B. So, I will write down this probability, namely this is nothing but P n plus 2 of T, fine, into product, this is probability of 2 departures in h units of time. Now, you observe that I have put here end. Again, this again says that the arrivals and the departures are both independent events, right. So, the arrivals do not influence the departure, neither the departures influence the arrivals. So, in this case they too are also 2 independent type of events or independent events. So, we can write down this probability of A intersection B once again as A into B. So, this is probability of 2 departures in H into probability of 0 arrival in H, and all this what we are saying, given that there are n plus 2 in the system at time t. Similarly, here 0 arrivals in H, given that there are n plus 2 customers at time t. So, for all this the rate we know already. So, we incorporate that P n plus 2 of t into, this is nothing but 2 departures. It is not mu n plus 2 into H, because only probability of 1 departure in H can be mu n plus 2. So, more than 1 we have this written as order of H. Similarly, here when we write, this is probability of 0 arrival in H, given that n plus 2 are there. So, we write this probability as, this is 1 minus lambda n plus 2 into H plus order of H, fine. Now, but then order of H into 1 is anyway O of H, but then H into the product, H into order of H, O of H into O of H, because of regularity we take all these terms to be negligible, and all these terms, product terms, results, they get absorbed in O of H. So, finally, what we have, the probability for this event is the following. We have Pn plus 2 of T into simply order of H, right. In this way, this is only 2, n plus 2. Same way we can keep writing n plus 3 can be there by time t in the system, and what should happen? Finally, for the count to be n, 3 departures should take place. Similarly, and so on, you can extend this, and each one of these is a mutually exclusive type of event. So, what do you have for the probability? All these probabilities can be written as summation. Fine. So, this is what we have in the next slide. So, this is what we had, probability of 0 arrival, 0 departure in t to t plus h is 1 minus lambda h plus minus mu h plus order of h. Same thing when we have the time state dependency, we do have this. When you are writing the probabilities conditioned on the number present in t, we bring in the state dependent rates for arrivals as well as departures, and we saw this in the last lecture, right, these probabilities. Now, what we have next is, whatever we saw today, all these events we said they are mutually exclusive. So, now we are trying to write them all together, and that is why we have this following expression. In the left hand side, it is Pn of t plus h, which is written as Pnt into 1 minus lambda n plus mu n into h plus order of h, right. This is the term corresponding to, by time t there are n in the system, and in the interval of h units of time there should not be any arrival, any departure. The second term speaks about n minus 1 customers present in the system at time t. Fine. In the interval of length h units of time, there should be only one arrival and no departure. That probability we saw earlier. Now, it is being written here compactly. So, Pn minus 1 of t into lambda n minus 1 into h plus order of h. This is the second term. Now, the third term we saw for when there are n minus 2 customers in the system, then 2 arrivals and no departure can take the count to n by time t plus h. So, and then we said that this y2, there can be n minus 3 in the system, keep on extending. So, n minus 4, n minus 5 and so on. All this we write it in the summation, use this k, and because they are all mutually exclusive events, we are adding those probabilities, and this is being written here compactly, right. So, sigma k equal to 2 to n Pn minus k of t into order of h. Pn minus k of t corresponds to, there are n minus k customers in the system by time t, and in h units of time, k arrivals should happen, but no departure. All this probability is being absorbed into O of h. That is how you have this term. This next term corresponds to, there are n plus 1 in the system at time t, and one departure takes the count to n. We have seen already. So, this is written as Pn plus 1 of t into mu n plus 1 into h plus order of h. So, this is to be written as Pn plus 1 of t into mu n plus 1 into h plus order of h, plus again we saw last, after the break we saw this probability. So, we have sigma k equal to 2 to n Pn plus k of t into order of h. So, all this takes care of the count that is there at time t and what can happen in h units of time, and whatever is possible in h units of time is based on the assumptions. The assumptions are nothing but Markovian arrivals, Markovian departures. So, we have probability of no arrival is 1 minus of the rates whatever is applicable, and probability of one arrival is say lambda n into h, or it is mu n into h depending on the number present in the system at time t, and probability of more than one arrival or probability of more than one departure, all this is absorbed into O of H. So, we have used all that. So, mind you, we have also used the postulates here, namely the events happening in non-overlapping intervals are independent of each other. So, what is the non-overlapping interval here? It is the 0 to t. The other interval is t to t plus h. This comprises of the independence assumption. What is the other one? Stationarity. So, stationarity calls for the probabilities being written based on the length of the interval. So, you observe that here in this case, see, for example, Pn of t, we have written it as that is the probability of the events taking place in the interval 0 comma t. But then we have written here it as Pn of t. So, t is the length of the interval. So, similarly here lambda n plus mu n into h. H is the length of the second part of the interval. So, in this way we have used the stationarity here. So, it is the regularity, we are going to use it shortly as regards the third postulate, we will see that. So, coming back to this slide, dPnt. Now, what we are going to do here is we are going to take so, here we are going to take this P and T into 1 to the left hand side, right, and then we are going to divide both sides by h and going to take limit h tending to 0. So, it is like on both sides we are going to take limit h tending to 0. Whatever you do to the left hand side, because it is an equation, it is to be done on the right hand side, and then we divide both sides by h. So, Pn plus t, Pn of t plus h minus this P and t into 1 is taken to the left hand side and you divide by h. What is the value of limit h tending to 0 of Pn of, right, t plus h minus Pn of t divided by h? This is nothing but, by definition, it is the derivative of P and t. And that is the reason in the second step we have dPn t by dt here. Okay. Now, the rest of the terms we see minus of lambda n plus mu n into h plus order of h. This when divided by h and you take the limit as h tending to 0. This is to be done, as I said, on both sides. Then what do you get here? H gets cancelled out here, that h which corresponds to lambda n plus mu n, and you have another term coming from this O of h as limit h tending to 0 of O of h by h. But then this value is equal to 0. Why? Because using the third postulate, namely the regularity postulate. So, in this way, in this derivation, we have made use of the Poisson process completely to get Pn of t, or first at this stage we are getting only dPnt to dt, we will see the rest of the terms. So, here similar procedure when you adopt limit h tending to 0 for this term Pn minus 1 of t into lambda n minus 1 h plus O of h whole thing divide by h, take the limit h tending to 0. In this case also the term corresponding to lambda n minus 1 into h by h, it goes, h gets cancelled, there is no effect of limit on lambda n minus 1, and O of h again goes to 0 after you take the limit h tending to 0. So, in this way these two terms are done. Now, the third term, once again we have sigma k equal to 2 to n Pn minus k of t, order of h by h you would have, and again you will allow the limit h tending to 0. So, here again this term will go to 0. So, the whole term sigma k equal to 2 to n will go to 0. Same way the last term sigma k equal to 2 to n Pn plus k of t into h, order of h, this also you will divide by h, allow, take the limit h tending to 0, this also goes to 0. In this way we end up, what happens to this term Pn plus 1 of t into mu n plus 1 h plus order of h. Here when you divide by h and take the limit as h going to 0, h gets cancelled out here, order of h goes to 0, and we are ending up with Pn plus 1 of t into mu n plus 1. So, that is how we have this term out here. So, what is that? dPnt by dt right. This is denoted as Pn dash t, and we have minus of lambda n plus mu n into Pnt plus lambda n minus 1 into Pn minus 1 into t, and here it should be mu n plus 1 into Pn plus 1 into t. So, now this is the equation which has been written here. Pn dash of t is again here, but what is the value of n? N can be 1, 2, 3 and so on. We will conclude today's session at this instant. As a summary, what we saw today was the derivation of the generalized Poisson queuing model to obtain the steady state probability, but we are into time dependent probability at this stage Pn of t, but we saw the application of the postulates in arriving at this differential difference equation. Thank you.